Welcome to the Cinema Gold Show. I'm your host, Larry Lees. And on today's episode, we're breaking down the latest box office numbers and giving our review of Day Shift. But first, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Pondex, for sponsoring this episode. You can check them out today at pondex.com. Use the promo code Larry21 for 10% off your order. And we'd also like to remind you we have merch available. If you want to check out our store, the link will be in the description. And now on to our first topic. If you don't build it, it won't come. With no new major titles this week, audiences chose to stay home. And for the next 2 months, that could be our new normal. Bullet Train dropped 55% in its second week, but led the top 10 with a gross of $13.4 million, the lowest figure for a number one film in 6 months. Similarly, the $65 million weekend total for all films is the worst showing since early February. Over the last 4 months, when studios release major films, theaters respond with encouraging results, sometimes spectacular in the case of Top Gun Maverick. 5 films passed $300 million domestic, similar to 2019. Grosses for the year to date are about 2/3 of 2019 through the same date. But that result could prove to be the high water mark for some time. That's still not close to what theaters need to return to something like normalcy. August gets a bad rep as a lame month for releasing movies, which isn't true. Nearly every year, the second week of August sees at least one film opening to over $15 million. In 2013, Elysium, Where the Millers and Planes debuted between $22 and $30 million. Straight Outta Compton opened to $60 million, The Meg $45 million. This weekend was the exception that proved the rule. There were no new wide releases. The lack of new films is a result of production lags during COVID, and studios releasing their top titles during the prime summer months, but this weekend came in at 48% of the same date in 2019. The ongoing 4-week rolling total has declined to 55% compared to 3 years ago. Again, that's the lowest level since February. A strong August needed Bullet Train on a trajectory to surpass $100 million by some distance. Instead, its performance is adequate. It has a shot at $90 million. The month also requires some overachievers. So far, that hasn't happened either. Easter Sunday by Universal was one, but its second weekend placed it outside the top 10 with $2.4 million. A24 has been a reliable source for sleeper hits. Its horror comedy Bodies, Bodies, Bodies came in at number 8 with $3.25 million in its second weekend, expanding to over 1,000 theaters. It will add hundreds more with the potential for positive results. But it's not a game changer. Fall was Lionsgate's first release in months, and genre titles are a frequent source of this company's success. With a $2.5 million opening, this low-budget thriller might be profitable, but won't do much to move the needle in a soft month. This summer has seen strong holds on most weeks. Many holdover titles fall less than 30%. That didn't happen this weekend. Only Top Gun Maverick avoided that fate. In fact, it added 421 theaters and grossed $7.15 million, up 2% from last weekend. All other holdovers dropped more than 30%, despite the lack of fresh films. It will take Monday's numbers to confirm whether Maverick or DC League of Super Pets is number 2. But either way, Maverick shows that people flock to what they want, and sometimes more than once. The Tom Cruise movie now should easily hit $700 million domestically, with the potential of many millions more. 2 new releases and 1 reissue also amassed over $1 million. The Indian remake of Forrest Gump grossed $1.47 million in 516 theaters, on par with E.T. The Extraterrestrial, which has an impressive re-release for $1.07 million in 389 theaters. Mac and Rita, with Diane Keaton, showed little appeal with $1 million in almost 2,000 theaters. Among other specialized titles, Emily the Criminal, a well-received Sundance thriller, managed over $600,000 in 473 theaters. Summering, another Sundance premiered title, though was a more typical example of the plight of similar specialized releases, it could only earn $31,000 in 260 theaters. So to recap, the top 10, starting off is the Bullet Train, followed by what is League of Super Pets. Number 3 is Top Gun Maverick, which 2 and 3 could switch based on Monday's numbers. Number 4 is Nope. Number 5 is Thor: Love and Thunder. 6 is Minions: The Rise of Gru. 7, Where the Crawdads Sing. Number 8, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Number 9 is Elvis. Last weekend it was number 7. And number 10, to round it out, is Fall. And before we move on, hit that thumbs up button if you like our content. Subscribe to the channel for even more content. And hit that bell notification button to be notified when we release new videos. And now on to our review of Day Shift. Day Shift is a ruthless, bloodthirsty romp through all the traditional vampire cliches. Garlic? Check. Aversion to sunlight? Check. But with a sun-drenched twist on the formula, J.J. Perry takes a well-worn genre and dials it up to 11. Bud Jablonski, played by Jamie Foxx, is no ordinary pool boy. Plumbing the depths of Los Angeles, he has a secret. He's actually a vampire hunter. It turns out the City of Angels is filled with vile, sinister bloodsuckers, and that's just the realtors. On top of that, there are plenty of vampires too. He's no ordinary vampire hunter either. Kicked out of the union for a long list of code violations, he's down on his luck and then some. He's forced to turn to back alley merchants to shift his trophies. Fangs collected from the vampires he's slain, and it's not long before he ruffles some feathers. It's more From Dusk Till Dawn than Interview with the Vampire, and Day Shift knows it, playing up every over-the-top fight scene with gory extravagance. Perry's background as a stunt coordinator is felt throughout, as Day Shift offers up some of the most intense vampire fights you'll see on screen. Jablonski is a bona fide badass and smarter than he seems, and Foxx plays it perfectly, walking the line between wisecracking smartass and genuinely ingenious vampire hunter. His homemade gadgets may be low-tech, but they certainly get the job done. Garlic grenades soften up his vampiric targets before a barrage of gunshots with Mpingo wood act like a stake through the heart. These little touches elevate Day Shift from a rote vampire action flick to something more. There's clearly been a lot of thought put into the action here, and Perry should be proud of how he's taken an age-old genre and revitalized it with a simple twist on classic tropes. Equally, Foxx brings his A game as Jablonski, giving a whole new meaning to work-life balance. A blue-collar working dad, he struggles to keep his identity secret from his ex-wife and daughter. The inherent conflict between his home and work life adds another layer to Day Shift, elevating it from a trashy vampire slaughtering popcorn flick to one with far more heart than you first realize. There's certainly a lot more to unpack than it first seems. Day Shift has a lot to say, too, about the socio-economic landscape of modern LA. There's a clear dichotomy between the working-class black vampire hunter and his white supervisors at the union. They may have a dental plan and expensive suits, but Bud's got it where it counts. Experience and sheer bloody mindness. And when he's paired up with desk jockey Seth, played by Dave Franco, the differences become even clearer. Franco hams it up as the feeble, constantly terrified Seth, who's more of a hindrance than any kind of help. But the chemistry between the pair is genuinely brilliant, as Bud takes the role of a reluctant mentor to a union rep who's supposed to be reporting back on his every move. Soon enough, Day Shift turns into a vampire buddy cop movie with Franco and Foxx becoming vampire slaughtering odd couple we never knew we wanted. Throw in Snoop Dogg and the legendary vampire hunter Big J, and things soon get even wilder. Both Foxx and Snoop Dogg get some great one-liners.
Jay, you ain't changed a bit, baby. I see you. I see you. What's
And
that?
you know me cutting necks and cashing checks.
Yeah. Thanks for meeting me, man.
Least I can do for the player that snatched my black ass up out the sandbox twice.
How secret?
Same or worse.
You think you listen?
Things done changed since you left.
I ain't never left, Big Jay.
Or since you got your ass kicked out the union. Now look here, I'm putting my name and my ass on the line for you by vouching for you. Can you play this shit by the book?
I got to. I gotta get that union card. I'm gonna lose my family. Look, I need 10 large in the next 5 days, or Josh is gonna take Paige down to Florida.
That's bad.
The union is the only place that's gonna give me that kind of corn for these fangs, man.
I got you. Lock and load.
All right. You know, she's done this before, man. You know,
With other memorable moments going to Franco's cringe-inducing Seth. The laughs are big, the action scenes are even bigger. Perry's mastery of the film's many action sequences offer up some truly unique moments. Scott Adkins and Steve Howey star as the vampire hunting Azarian twins who are so close you can almost believe the bullet time slow-mo, which sees one brother firing a single bullet across the room into the chamber of the other brother's pistol. It's ridiculous, completely and utterly ridiculous, and it's an absolute treat to watch. That's the good thing about Day Shift. It's a film that knows exactly what it is. Sure, it's no Oscar winner, but with a fun take on an interesting storyline, you'll find the film has a lot to offer, especially if you love a good old-fashioned popcorn flick. Day Shift certainly brings something unique to the table. It's not quite a straight-up vampire movie with a lot more going on beneath the bloody vampire-busting facade. Foxx, Franco, and Snoop Dogg tear down the walls, laying bare a dark, cruel Los Angeles that puts a twisted spin on real-life SoCal sensibilities. Sure, the story is a bit light and straightforward, but that just doesn't matter. Day Shift makes up for it with some impeccable fight scenes and incredibly likable heroes. Jablonski may not be the best pool boy in the world, but he's a decent vampire hunter and an even better dad. You'll be rooting for him every step of the way. Day Shift is big, loud, brash, and exactly what it should be. A fun romp through the streets of LA with some violent, gory vampire action thrown in. So what's my verdict, you ask? Well, let me break it down. Day Shift is a raucous, over-the-top vampire flick that goes for the jugular. There's nothing subtle about it. The comedy hits hard and the vampires hit harder, as Jamie Foxx, Dave Franco, and Snoop Dogg tear their way through LA. The fight scenes are just crazy, pitting our heroes against an army of undead vamps with only a handful of bullets and some homemade silver-plated piano wire. Oh, and Snoop Dogg's colossal chain gun, of course. Gruesome, right from the very first scene. Day Shift erupts into a no-holds-barred romp through vampire cliches that feels like From Dusk Till Dawn on steroids. Throw in a few new twists, and you've got Day Shift. A fast-paced action comedy with plenty of bite. Let us know in the comments section below, what did you think of Day Shift? Have you watched it? Are you going to watch it? Let us know. And you can currently watch it on Netflix. And as always, if you want to support the show, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/cinemagold. Your support helps the channel grow, upgrade our equipment, bring in new hosts, be able to pay them, and create even better content. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We will see you next time.